with we start the television section with the Sports Corner. And as mentioned, the big game is this weekend with the Eagles taking on the Chiefs in Super Bowl licks 59 for you non-Roman numeral speakers over there. So, little preview of Super Bowl coming up here for 30 seconds of ad space because that's all we really care about. Advertisers and companies will have to pay $7 million per 30 seconds. I'm betting they can use that $7 million elsewhere. Employees, sorry, throat there. But maybe the commercials will be fun because that's all I care about coming into Sunday. Sure, you do have the storylines of the Kansas City Chiefs seeking a three-peat. Uh, but on the flip side, you have the Eagles winning. But if they do win, that means Saquon wins. And if Saquon wins, that means he gets his running back revenge not only on the Giants, but effectively and hopefully resets that running back market to where, yes, running backs are an important factor in the NFL and are definitely needed in this very pass heavy offenses that we see. But running backs still have a room and a place here. And hopefully, this means that running backs can finally get their value at what they're worth and have these overly ballooned contracts to match the to match the receivers and the quarterbacks. But if you're not into any of those football stats, well, good news because recent 5-time Grammy winner Kendrick Lamar will be in attendance. Well, I mean, as will Taylor Swift, but Kendrick Lamar is actually going to be the one performing at the head as the Super Bowl halftime show with SZA. So look forward to that. I have money on him coming out and singing DNA as his first song. I am sure he's going to eventually sing Not Like Us. But, you know, it's technically not his first time performing at the halftime show. It's his first time headlining, not performing, because during the LA concert, he came up and had a little cameo appearance alongside about like 6 other people during that Super Bowl performance in LA. So yeah, he's no stranger to the halftime show, but he does get all the songs now, and I'm sure Drake will be watching intently. Other artists performing at the Super Bowl include John Baptiste, who will sing the national anthem, and Ledisi, who will sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. So that is your Super Bowl preview going into this week's game. But before we got there, we had the NFL honors just last night, where we now know who will be in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame class for 2025 include Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharp. Five well-deserved players, but there were some notable names left off of this year's list. Snubs, including two-time Super Bowl winner Ellie Manning, linebacker Luke Kuechly, receivers Torrey Holt Reggie Wayne, the defensive dominator Terrell Suggs, and the player with the most points scored in the history of the NFL did not get into the Hall of Fame. I am talking about the old man himself, Adam Vinatieri, who did not get in on his first try. Now, to be fair, he is a place kicker, which is a specialty, and in all of Canton, there's only 5 kickers who've ever been into the Hall of Fame. Although you could make a really strong case, as I have, that the man has scored the most points in the NFL. He scored the most field goals in the NFL. He has a lot of kicking records, and yet you look at that and say, nah, he's not Hall of Fame material. Like Come on, get out of here. The man deserves it. The man kicked his way into it. Give him a statue. Give him a statue. Give him a bust. Although you don't want a bust of his face. You want a bust of his leg because he's a kicker, and that's the thing that got him into the NFL, to the Hall of Fame. But there were other awards given out over the course of the night, including the Coach of the Year going to Kevin O'Connell of the Minnesota Vikings, who took his team 14-2, the third best record in the NFL, behind the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs, with technically a backup quarterback. So yeah, well done, well deserved, Kevin O'Connell. Other awards, including Defensive Rookie of the Year, goes to Jared Verse on the Rams. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to creative player himself, Jayden Daniels. Defensive Player of the Year, Pat Surtain II in Denver. Offensive Player of the Year to Saquon Barkley, a well-deserved Offensive Player of the Year. Comeback Player of the Year to Joe Burrow, which is expected because he was pretty much injured all of last year. But your MVP, your NFL MVP, is none other than Josh Allen. That's right. Your MVP will not be playing the Super Bowl this year because he lost. But Josh Allen, with an amazing year, is your MVP. Although really it should be Saquon. He hit 2,000 yards on a new team and just dominated everywhere. He should have won MVP, but you know. As for the biggest honor of the night, the Walter Payton Man of the Year, that honor goes to Jaguars Arik Armstead as he won this year's event, the defensive lineman on the Jaguars. So congratulations to all your new hardware. Congratulations on all your trophies. Congratulations to the Hall of Fame class. And congratulations to snacks, as you will be eaten plentifully during the Super Bowl. But that's not the only thing that's happening in the sports world, because after the lights dim on the Super Bowl, 2 days later, on the 11th, spring training is here. We get right into baseball, and the Dodgers will be reporting to spring training that following Tuesday. So, spring training right around the corner. Also right around the corner, the NHL Four Nations Face-Off that begins on the 12th, but we get enough time to talk about it. Well, we don't have time to talk about it because that starts on Wednesday, the 12th, and that'll go for a full week until the 20th. And as mentioned, will take place instead of the NHL All-Star Game. And of course, concurrently with the NHL is the NBA. And the trade deadline was last week. Or not last week, was yesterday. And trades exploded this past week. That's where my mind went. Because we got new players on new teams, starting with the biggest trade and shocking everybody. Luka Doncic, the face and the leader of the Mavericks, who took them to the NBA Finals just last year, was traded by the team to the Los Angeles Lakers. In a blockbuster move that also saw Mark Williams, center, I think it was the Pelicans, also going to the Lakers, where Caleb Martin and Anthony Davis were being sent to the Mavericks. Huge trade, huge news, made waves everywhere. But now Luka is playing on the same team as LeBron. And LeBron's been to the finals, and Luka's been to the finals. So no surprise that Vegas odds immediately shot up the Lakers to having some of the best odds to win the NBA championship this year. Other trades around the NBA include Jimmy Butler to the Warriors and Chris Middleton from the Bucks to the Wizards. And would have to be one of the worst signs you could see for Chris Middleton, because the Bucks are pretty good and the Wizards are terrible. Um, and lastly, in uh, sports, NASCAR. This past weekend, we had the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum, but not in LA. Instead, is at Bowman Gray Stadium, which is in Salem, North Carolina. Uh, your winner of the Clash of the Coliseum was Chase Elliott, followed by Blaney, and then Hamlin for the exhibition Clash of the Coliseum. Daytona will be run next weekend. At the start of the new season, NASCAR season is just around the corner, with the first duels taking place next Thursday and Friday, with the Daytona 500 on the 16th. So we'll know by the time we record next week who will be sitting in pole position as we get to the start of NASCAR. All right, now all sports are done.